Welcome everyone, it is Karen Yaffe from KL Designs, and I am here today to welcome you to the Cozy Christmas Block of the Month, doing with Katie Solberg. And a lot of you have been I see you've been getting your blocks in the mail, so slowly starting to trickle in. We're so excited to have you here, and thank you for being a part of this fun Block of the Month. So the first month, I believe, is the bells, and I believe I can say that because this video is going to come out after hopefully you all have your blocks. And I am going to show you today what you may want or what I think you need to get started in the wool applique, with the wool applique block. And I'll show you how to trace your pattern, how to fuse it and cut it out, and how to get started with your block if you're really new to wool applique. So I am going to move my phone down, and I am not the best videographer at all, so bear with me. Just going to move this down, and yes, I am at my dining room table. That's where I like to stitch. My favorite place to stitch. Let me just get this in a little closer so you can see. Okay, and I hope the lighting's good. I've got these lights going on. I know my glasses are showing up really well. Okay, so wool applique. I love wool applique, and it's pretty easy to do, and it's user-friendly, and I like it because you don't have to turn under the wool at all. You just stitch it down and you're good to go. And so to get started with wool applique, I have some supplies that I feel are needed. And the first thing I'm going to talk about is the fusible web. Now, we've had some issues with fusible web. We went from soft fuse to Wonder Fuse, and now Katie has found this gentle fuse, which I really like. Actually, I've liked all the ones that she's found, so bravo to Katie. This is from Maywood Studio. They're the same ones that make the beautiful flannels that we use on the back of our wool applique projects. So this is gentle fuse, and yes, you can get it in sheets, but I like the roll, and this roll actually is 5 yards. That's a lot. 20, and it's 2 inches bigger than the soft fuse or the Wonder Fuse. So I like this fusible. It's light, and it's not, it doesn't gum up your needle at all. So give that a try. I like that a lot. The second thing we're going to talk about is needles. Important to have the good chenille needles. You're going to need, and I like the Tulip brand. Katie carries that. It's my favorite brand. You're going to need basically the number 24 chenille needle. You may want a 22 if you're doubling up your thread, maybe, or if you were to use a size 5 or size 8 in Valdani, you might want the 22, but basically you'll need the 24. You also might want to get a milliner's needle or a straw needle. They're called both of those for some reason. My favorite is the number 1 Big Eye straight straw needle. And a straw needle is different from a milliner's because it doesn't, let me find mine. It doesn't, you know how I don't know if you can see this, hopefully you can, the chenille needle, the eye kind of bulbs out a little at the top. Well, with a straw needle, it is the same shape from the eye down to the tip. So when you're doing your French knots, your bullion stitches, that needle pulls through really easily. And I do have French knots in some of these blocks. So you might want to get one of those. The other tool you will need is a good pair of scissors. Now you're going to need, these are my paper scissors. You're going to need paper scissors. That's what I cut my fusible out with. But then for the wool, you will need a really good pair of scissors. These two are Karen Buckley. I cannot remember the sizes, but this is my favorite pair of scissors. This is the Kai curved serrated. I don't know if you can see that or not. Put something behind it so you can see the curve of it. It's really, really helpful going around curves or small shapes. These are my favorite, and these are 5.5 inches. So this is probably the 5.5 inch straight Karen Buckley, and then I think this is maybe a 7-inch. These are really good for going along the straight edge. So good pair. Invest. I've had these for like 5 years, and they're still good. I have a backup pair, but I haven't had to crack it open yet. All right, those are scissors. And then you will need some marking pencils. So my favorite marking pencil is the Soline pencil in white. I use this pretty exclusively on the darker wools. It's my absolute favorite. I have a bunch of other ones here, but I really do not use those at all. I like this. If you're gonna use, if you need to mark on a light colored wool, you're gonna want these Frixion. I love these Frixion pens. It's a marker, it's like a marker, but when you apply heat, it disappears. So I use these for, you know, when I'm marking the line of a stem or anything like that, and I try to use the color that goes best with the colored thread I'm gonna use. I don't know why, because it's gonna disappear anyway, but I don't know, just in case. But I really like these Frixion pens. And then the other tool you may want to get is a glue stick, Soline glue stick. Comes with refills. Just for sometimes when you're fusing your pieces onto your background, especially the little pieces, sometimes they just don't stick very well. Just add a little dab of glue, stick it down, and then stitch it down. Very helpful. And then the other thing I'll talk about when we get to the fusing the pieces down is this is called pressing affair. And it is it kind of reminds me of a sheer curtain. It's just a sheath, and you can see through it because, oh, I can't give you an example. Well, let me just get a piece of wool. Say you're ironing something down, maybe these leaves down on this. Especially with white or lighter wools, you want to use this pressing sheet because it prevents scorching, and you can see through it, so you can still see where you're placing your pieces. Prevents scorching, or pretty much the scorching part. I always do it on the white, especially the white wools, because you don't want to have to start your project all over because you scorched your white wool. Okay, and that is from Granny's Legacy, but Katie sells those in the shop. And the other thing you may want to invest in is a light box. And with this block of the month, the light box comes in handy, big time, because let me take this cover off. This is actually, I upgraded on my birthday to this Caterpillar Glow, and it is a fabulous, and it's got 4 different light settings. This is a self-healing cutting mat. You can cut right on top of this. So when you start out, you're gonna get this is the background of the blocks you're gonna get for the applique. You can see through this background fabric, which is fabulous, because when you go to place your pieces down, you'll be able to see through with the template on the back, and you can see right exactly where you're going to put those pieces. So, but I'm getting ahead of myself. So to start wool applique, you will get your pattern, and I've already taped my 2 pieces together. This is my template, and then on the template on the bottom, it's got all the pieces you're going to need and how many you're going to need of each piece. So tape your template together. And then you will take your fusible, and it's got a paper side, and it's got like a rough, shiny side. That's the side that you're gonna put down to fuse your piece to your background. So you want to draw on the paper side. And so you take a pencil, and this piece B, you need 3 pieces. So I would trace out 1, trace out 2. Now I use a pencil for tracing. I know some people have said they use marker. Plus I would trace a little better if I took time. Put them close together, but with enough space in between to cut. And then you would take this, I would, you know, cut this out with my paper scissors. You want to leave a little space around the pencil marks. All right, and then you would fuse this down on your wool. Let me just get a piece of wool just to say this was my piece of wool, but not this big, you know, and then fuse it down, no steam. And then when you're done with that, you let it cool. And then let's just pretend that I had leaves on this design. So I traced my leaves onto my fusible. I already fused it down. And then you go and you cut them out on the line. Like so. So then you've got, and label. Make sure you label too, because you may, I mean, you're gonna know what this piece is, but sometimes you have so many pieces of something, you don't know what the piece it is. So, especially if it's leaves. So then you would take your background, and it's nice that this is a light background that you can see through. Place it over your template. And then you would place your piece, you know, where it went. This is not the correct piece, obviously, but you know, if this was a leaf, you could place your leaf exactly where it would go. Now you can place them all down at the same time, transfer it to your iron, and then steam it down all at the same time, or you could go in sections. You could do all your bells first, because the bell does go under this bow. Like I would fuse my black background and, you know, the big bell part, I would stitch those all down. Then I would go back after I was done stitching and put the bees on, and the handles, they probably need to go under this though. And then I would do the bow last. I don't really like to fuse everything down at once. I kind of like them all to be secured before I layer. But if that's the way you'd like to do it, there's no issue with that. You can do that however you'd like. And then the other thing you may want to invest in is a wool pressing mat. I don't have mine with me. It's in the office and my husband's on a call, so I can't go get it. It is great for wool applique, because when you fuse on top of that, it's a wool mat. It radiates the heat from the top and from the bottom, so you get a much better fuse with that. And the other thing that I did not talk about was threads. Now you can use different kinds of threads, embroidery thread. There's different companies out there, Eleganza, I can't remember what some of the other ones are. But Katie and I pretty much exclusively use Valdani. And these are all the colors in her thread kit. And I used all of a size 12. I did not use any 5s or any 8s, all 12s. And Valdani is just a beautiful company with lots of beautiful colors. So if you'd like to just get the thread kit, we used every single thread in her kit. There's 12. I encourage you to do that. Other than that, that is about it. And if you have any questions at all, ask in the group. I'm on there every day. and I will answer your questions. And please don't hesitate to reach out. And we are so excited that you're here, and have fun, and Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas early. Thanks, guys.